Good morning. Good morning. It is exciting to see you all get together for this exciting conference to share thoughts and ideas, learn from each other, and help us showcase a lot of work we have been doing over the past year or so. Empowering your business to be secure, simple, and productive is how we think about our primary job. There's no better time to be in IT than today. Why do I say so? IT is the cornerstone for the success of every business. Whether it's mobility that made us so productive, or it's cloud that made sure applications can be built and deployed faster, IoT, OT to collect all that telemetry we needed to do the next level of work, or now AI, ML kind of coming on the main stage. These technologies are driving the business. They're making them powerful and competitive. But technologies alone can only do so much. Transformation requires you as IT leaders to play a big role. These new technologies make you think differently because it's not the same old world. Rather than you think about building applications, it's more so consuming applications. That doesn't mean building is gone. But a lot of SaaS applications are making it easier to get started. The network-centric mindset has to change to user-centric mindset. It's no longer the world around the network. Security controls needs to move to risk-based decision-making. Okay. So inertia is the biggest thing that holds us back from changing because we have been doing things a certain way for a long, long time. Satya Nadella of Microsoft has often talked about rather than being know-it-all to learn-it-all mindset. I like to call it a child's mindset, who's always open to explore and think about how things need to be done. So disruptive technologies that are helping power our business, combined with new IT leader mindset, an open mindset that says, I don't need to keep on really sitting on the same old technologies I have had for the 30 years. I can explore new things. That's what this conference is about to show you, how networking and security can be reimagined, and it should be done differently. So at Zscaler, we focus on empowering your business, making it secure, making it simple, making it productive. Simple, I mean reducing complexity, reducing cost, and the like. Now, if all these technologies have come on the front, what's holding us back? I talked to hundreds and hundreds of customers. Some of the most common things that come back is essentially there's a lot of tech debt that has been accumulated over the years. Then that has to be taken care of. You can't do it overnight. And inertia, fear of change. Gee, I don't know about this. What happens to my job? Will it fundamentally change? And then what they call layer 8 and layer 9. It's people and politics. I think we all need to get past these things to make progress. Cybersecurity is on the front of every IT leader's mind, CEO's mind, and even the board of directors' mind. About $219 billion gets spent globally on security solutions, products, and services, and everything. That's lots and lots of money. Unfortunately, a lot of that money gets spent on legacy technologies. The biggest segment of the spend is firewalls. And breaches happen all the time. Tell me a single breach where they didn't have a firewall or VPN solution in place. Breach happens, you buy more firewalls, you buy more firewalls. It isn't helping. Why isn't our legacy technologies helping us? Well, let's look at how we do networking and security. So first of all, in early 90s, late 80s, The industry agreed upon IP-based network where you could buy standard routers and extend your data center to every branch office, every factory out there. And so that you go to the branch office, you get on the network, you move laterally, you find application, you connect. Fantastic, probably the biggest breakthrough in networking and distributed computing. And now, we extend the same network to every cloud region. Okay. And so network becomes flat and big. And then cloud comes. And the first question customer asks is, how do I move security to the cloud? What's the next natural old way of doing it? Well, let's pick my firewall and move it as a VM to the cloud. It's cloud security. How about VPN? Rather than me having a box in my data center, let's move the box to some cloud out there. Now, that's what vendors would like you to do. But they won't tell you that a firewall or VPN is a network device, it's an IP device. Wherever you put it, your network gets extended all over. It essentially becomes like a big highway system. Once I get on Highway 80 in San Francisco, I can reach New York, Miami, or Dallas without hitting a single light. But so can bad guys. So how do these attacks happen? Security can be very geeky, very complicated. But if you think about the breach, you can think about 4 simple stages. 1, they find you. They find your attack surface. In the world of cyber, your attack surface is any IP address that's exposed to the internet. It may be your firewall, it may be VPN, it may be your application portal. What if we could hide your attack surface? Number 2, they compromise you and everything bad comes from the internet. And being a proper checkpost to inspect all traffic and help prevent compromise. 3, they move laterally. A single infected machine on your network can traverse the whole network and bring everything down. We saw that with Maersk, when one machine brought the entire network down in 130-some countries. And the ships, their freight ships, were stranded in ports in Hong Kong and Singapore and New Jersey. And the freight couldn't be uploaded or downloaded because every IT system was down. That's the biggest risk of lateral threat movement, the biggest problem that's often exploited by ransomware folks. Number 4, they steal your data, and all stolen data, by and large, gets sent to the internet. So our focus is these 4 areas, rather than this box and that box. How do we really stop things at these 4 stages? This is where the Zero Trust architecture comes in. Zero Trust architecture is picked up a lot. Unfortunately, the term has been hijacked because it is the opposite of firewall and VPN or network security technologies. The legacy vendors are worried about getting disrupted, so they all kind of say, I'm Zero Trust as well. Now, a quick summary on Zero Trust. In the world of Zero Trust, your applications are merely destinations. Your users and devices are all untrusted. There's no routable network sitting between the two that you get on it and you go wherever you need to go. That Zero Trust exchange sits in the middle. It starts with identity. Who are you? That's the first point. Second, where are you going? You could specify application A or B or C rather than putting people on the network. 3, knowing that identity can be stolen. We need to compute risk about more things. Potentially device posture, device type policy, probably user risk based on behavior, perhaps inspecting traffic and finding things that change the policy dynamically on the fly to say, do you connect or do you not? And then you get connected to external applications with ZIA, simple connection, outside in, and ZPA with an inside-out connection, so we hide your applications. So Zero Trust, starting with identity, device posture check, a policy engine that uses several attributes to make the right connection, and the connection gets made to the application, not to the network. Okay. That's fundamental to understand. Now, one more distinction. When I talk to many customers, they kind of say, well, Yeah, but that's what the firewall guys said too. Okay. So here is the difference between the two architectures. In Zero Trust, you're like a switchboard. You come, we terminate connection, we decide, we check the attributes, we make the connection. In case of firewall, it's like a bridge. Once the bridge opens up, the connection is made, the traffic starts flowing through, and then you worry about it, then you try to build segments. Let's create a segment, segment, segment. It's like you built a highway that connects everything. And now you want to create some of the tolls and off-ramps and on-ramps. Doesn't practically work. That's why Zero Trust architecture that we put out, our customers love it because it is very easy to implement and it makes things easier. To make sure there's clarity about this architecture, we've written 2 books, Zero Trust for Architects at a technical level and Zero Trust for CXO at the management level. Pick up a copy of these complimentary books and pass it on to your teams as well. All of you are familiar with Zscaler Internet Access, Zscaler Private Access. The two together allow you to access any application from anywhere without thinking about the network. Network simply becomes plumbing. It's simply the transport. And Zscaler Digital Experience, which I know our networking leaders and end-user computing leaders love because it figures out that any of the performance issues. These 3 things together is what we call Zscaler for Users. Once you have it, we essentially eliminate the entire DMZ, inbound DMZ, outbound DMZ. Okay. It allows you to cost justify the solution pretty easily, pretty simply. I was talking to the CIO of a large healthcare company yesterday, and the discussion was, in today's hard environment, how do you get business justification for new projects? He said, with Zscaler, it was easy. I said, what do you mean? He said, we are able to eliminate a lot of point products. The cost justification wasn't hard at all. I challenge you to think about it. Unless you think about removing a lot of legacy stuff, it may look like new spend. Now, our platform is growing and expanding. All of you know we started the inline cloud where we could inspect things to keep you safe, right party talking to right party. And then we built posture control for SaaS data, for public cloud data, making sure that they are not misconfigured, making sure the right permissions and right everything. And then with all that telemetry we have been collecting, we actually now have an AI cloud we're building a lot of things on, and I'm going to share some more during my talk, and then you'll have some deeper sessions on it. And this is made available, not just for users, now for workloads, IoT, OT, and B2B. All these entities need to talk to each other. We are leveraging the same core Zscaler technology to make it happen. Okay. All these solutions are packaged essentially in 4 key areas: cyber threat protection, data protection, business insights, and Zero Trust connectivity. Business insights are probably a new area we are really launching. You'll see a lot of information about it. And these things are being packaged as 4 solutions: Zscaler for Users, Zscaler for Workloads, Zscaler IoT OT, and Zscaler B2B. The goal is to help you eliminate point products, standardize on standard platform. And all this stuff is built in an integrated fashion. We did not go out and buy 10 companies and try to slap them together and say, here it is. I'm going to give you a high-level view of each of the 4 areas about what we are doing, and then there'll be next keynote-level sessions to give you a deeper view of it. So cyber threat protection. In this case, I talked about 3 major areas: minimizing your attack surface, preventing compromise, and eliminating lateral movement. If you think in these 3 terms, your cyber gets better. Rather than thinking about, do I have an IPS, do I have a NAC, do I have this thing, do I have that thing? What are we doing in this area? With our ZPA technology, We minimize your attack surface, not by selling you a DDoS technology or WAF, one more firewall, one more IPS, but simply hiding your application behind Zscaler. So they can't be discovered from the internet, they can't be attacked. Becomes very good. Prevent compromise. You have been using Zscaler Internet Access for quite a while. Now it's powered by AR, but has a bunch of technologies to really make sure whether it's phishing or it's malware attacks. We use a number of techniques from sandboxing to DNS controls to various kind of other controls. The key thing is SSL inspection done at scale, and we do it better than anybody else out there because we designed our system for that. So preventing compromise is critical. Lateral threat movement is the biggest problem enterprises are facing. You talk to any customer who has had a breach. Chances are 90% that lateral threat movement played a role. And guess what? To solve it, they buy a bunch more firewalls and boxes to build network segments and all. The goal is really to go away and look at a zero trust architecture where you connect entity to entity rather than putting them on the network. We will have a session that's going to cover this, but to give you a high-level view, without worrying about network segmentation, you can actually do user-to-app segmentation. So only certain users can go to certain apps, not everyone else. Okay. You could further do app-to-app segmentation using our cloud connector technology, where you can say data center to cloud connection is through zero trust. Cloud to cloud connectivity is through zero trust. And even inside the cloud, you can have zero trust connectivity. Now, a few new innovations you're going to hear during our next level keynotes. I'm here to give you a little bit sneak of what's happening. ITDR, this is Identity Threat Detection and Response. It's natural for us to provide on top of it already building. Attack surface management. We have been minimizing it. There's some more tools and services coming in that area. And Risk 360, a holistic view of the risk. These are some of the very exciting things among a number of other things we've done in the cyber threat protection area. Now, my team had a long list of charts to share with me what we had done in the past 1 year in cyber protection. I thought I couldn't really cover it all. I tried to put it in 3 buckets. In the attack surface area, things we built and things we're building, then the prevent compromise area and eliminate threat area. Our goal is to be really integrated, comprehensive, so you don't really have to deal with multiple point products that don't work with each other. I'm very proud of the work our team has done to make our cyber threat protection comprehensive and very, very effective. The next area all of us worry about is protecting data. Data is fundamental. With everything being digitized, data can be very easily stolen. I mean, it's essentially a few clicks away. So in this area, we look at data protection in 3 buckets. The first one, discovery and classification data, whether it's sitting in your data center or public cloud or it's sitting in SaaS applications. How about understanding the posture of the data and then making sure data doesn't leak and exfiltrate? We had done a lot of work in these 3 areas. Discovery, for example, we've done some recent innovations in using AI/ML technology to automatically classify your data, whether these are legal documents, finance documents, medical documents, the like. It automatically figures out. In fact, it can do that in line as the traffic is going out. And a bunch of hardcore technologies like exact data match, EDM, index data match, OCR for recognizing optical characters, and integration Microsoft information protection. All these are things that have been done to make sure you can discover and classify your data. The second area, posture control. You're going to hear from Moinal and team during the deep dive data protection keynote, making sure your data in SaaS application, which is more and more, is being taken care of. Making sure your data in cloud is taken care of. The whole CNAP, CSPM, CIM type of offerings are available from Zscaler. And data exfiltration, the DLP technology we have been building for several years. We do a great job with inline inspection. We got tagging technology, full TLS inspection to do that. And what we introduced in the past couple of years is our browser isolation, where you can actually stream pixels and pixels only. No data gets down out there. These innovative cases help you actually replace VDI, which is often a pretty expensive solution sitting in your data center. And most customers, most users find VDI too slow. Okay. So a quick glimpse of DLP innovations that you'll hear more about from the team. Endpoint DLP, our customer asked for over the years. It's here. Email DLP is here. CNAP, everyone talks about CNAP. No one talks about CNAP integrated with workload communication. That's what we have done as a unique functionality. And scanning contents and VMs for sensitive data. You'll learn more about these innovations for data protection. And just like I said in cyber threat, our team has done a great job in building and evolving the data protection full suite. So it is a complete offering. If you asked me 5 years ago, we're not quite there. Over the past 3-4 years, we have spent tremendous investment dollars to make sure that data protection is the best technology. Now, let me invite Chris Porter, SVP and CISO of Fannie Mae, one of our very early customers, to join me on stage to share some of his experiences in working with Zscaler for cyber protection and data protection.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. You have been a great customer, a great partner for years.
You've been a great partner to us as well. I need to get an AI CISO, though. That would help out a lot.
Yes, I need to get an AI CEO. Then I can go to the beach.
Yes.
But tell us about everyone knows about Fannie Mae, but a couple of words about Fannie Mae.
Yeah, I mean, we're one of the leading mortgage providers in the country. We don't actually originate loans, but we purchase loans from lenders, and then they use those funds to make more loans for everyone else. So last year, we put around $684 billion into the market for people to buy homes, and I think that allowed for the financing of about 2.6 million homes and rental units.
Wow, impressive. So cyber becomes important when there's so much money involved. And you have been driving the transformation. You started earlier than many other CISOs out there. Walk us through how you went through it and what phases did you go through?
Yeah, certainly. So I think our journey started around 2016. And we were in the middle of making a lot of choices around moving to cloud, but it was not for infrastructure or platform at that time. It was more of the business and enterprise solutions. So your ServiceNow technology, your O365, those kinds of things. Well, a lot of that just moved outside of the data center. And so we were having a problem because the on-prem proxies that we had at the time just weren't keeping up with internet scale.
Yep.
And so at one point, we couldn't even allow YouTube on our network, and we had to only allow for exceptions for that because it would make the proxies fall over. Mm-hmm. And so we started moving to securing the internet access and leveraging the ZIA capability to do that. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge win for us. We were able to really change the way that our users were accessing the internet, and we in some ways we changed the way that they've been doing work for many, many years. So for instance, I had people calling me and saying, "Hey Chris, I don't know if you know this, but I can get to my email and I'm not on VPN anymore." And I go, "I know, and you're welcome." But we had the visibility and the transparency throughout that entire piece. I think one of the things that we did 3 years ago and started this journey, and I think the pandemic surprisingly helped us out a lot, is that we started moving towards private access. We pushed ZPA out to our entire network when the pandemic hit. We were planning to do it anyways, but we wanted to have redundancy in case VPN failed that we had a fallback on at that time. And it just took off. People started using it more often. They got used to it. It really helped me sleep a little better at night because we were moving from VPN where it sets you right on the network and you get that lateral movement that you were talking about earlier, where people could move everywhere. We were able to begin our zero trust journey. When you're on ZPA, I have multi-factor authentication that's helping me authenticate my user. I have application-only access. It's coming from a trusted device, or only devices that we know about, and from networks that we know about. So it was a really big move for us. What I did next is I got rid of our network in our buildings while no one was there. So we went through and changed the network architecture in our buildings that when people come back in, they have a employee guest network that just gives them internet access and then allows them to reach Zscaler for internet access and private access to all of our applications. So
Chris,
really
sorry,
reduced.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that was so progressive. Think of it. Your office, you're in the office, you're like sitting at home. You're not on the corporate network. That's beautiful.
No, and it's really, what it's helped out even operationally is that it's changed the experience to where it's the same, whether you're home, whether you're at Starbucks, or you're in one of our physical buildings. You have the same experience. And quite frankly, it really helped. The pandemic helped us train our users to do multi-factor authentication every single day, which helped us immensely with our security. Then we've implemented some of the data protection capabilities that you talked about, exact data match, index document matching. We've integrated Microsoft information protection capabilities and the data labeling and classification so that when someone has one of those documents that's labeled, Zscaler stops it from getting out. So we're reducing the types of incidents that we're having across our organization. And then lastly, we need to make sure that we can manage that entire experience. It is much more difficult when you're managing the network, but your network is the internet, and you have to be able to see, hey, this internet service provider in Dallas is down, and that's why our users there are having a problem, versus the legacy way where, hey, we know that the wireless networking or the wireless device in this building is not working. And so we have to have that big level visibility to address that.
Wonderful. Chris, it has been fun. And I know you and I will talk about a number of new steps, new products to build.
Yep. Thank
you.
you.
Look forward to working with you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Great. Yeah. So, zero trust connectivity. Our CIO told me last year, they said, Jay, Zscaler is the best networking company that sells no networking products. Okay. Our job is to make it easy and simple and really use any network simply as the transport and plumbing without having to worry about route table management and the like. But there are 4 key things you should think about when you think about zero trust architecture for the networking. Applications are merely destination. They're not resources on the network. Think about it. A network is simply a transport. Security is decoupled. You don't need to worry about network security. You need to secure the right entity to right entity. And you connect to specific applications. And you don't need to worry about having a route table network, managing routes. Think of 30,000 branches or 10,000 branches managing routes. What if those branches could be just like your home? You don't manage routes at home. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about where your branch office becomes like Starbucks. So we make sure you have connectivity for your users, for various locations, and even cloud. Okay. I would not go into the detail of how we offer, but you'll have keynotes coming later on. They'll walk you through what gets done in all 3 areas. I do want to highlight some of the new innovations we've done in this area. You know, we have used connector technology to really client connector to get traffic to you, to Zscaler Cloud from wherever you are. We've used some of other connectors from cloud and branch. Our customers kind of said for the branch, you give me this VM, but I don't have a place to put something on it for traffic forwarding. So though I tried to stay away from hardware for a long, long time, listening to our customers, we are announcing a plug-and-play appliance for a branch connector. Okay. If I could show you, I really have a little box. This little box will be able to host our branch connector so that you simply drop the branch connector, this box up there. It auto-discovers the cloud, connects, provisions, literally under 10 minutes, you're up and ready. No routes to be managed, none of that stuff is done. We work with all the networking vendors, so our goal is not to be in the networking business, but make it easy for you to get traffic as easily as possible and eliminate lateral tech movement. We have had the connector available as a VM if you have large offices. Many of our customers are using that option already. And we'll talk about the Equinix integration in a minute or so. Again, a comprehensive view of things we've done for zero trust connectivity, for users, for locations, as well as public cloud. You'll hear more about it during our zero trust connectivity session. But right now, I want to invite Justin, Chief Technology Officer of Equinix, to join me to share what we're doing together with Equinix. Justin.
Hello, Jay.
Great. Equinix has been a great partner from the very early days of Zscaler. When we wanted to build a cloud, we actually chose Equinix as our preferred partners. So a lot of our technology is sitting at Equinix data centers. In fact, your map looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Look at that. You are everywhere.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you for the great continued partnership, and what a great collaboration it has been. So who are we? Equinix is a global digital infrastructure platform where we have about over 240 highly reliable data centers, and also a global software-defined backbone network connecting all of this together, and also enabling a cloud on-ramp connectivity. Today, we enable about 40% of cloud on-ramp connectivity, and about 375,000 instances of interconnection happen on our platform among customers and onto the cloud. And in addition to that, we also offer VNFs as a service, also bare metal as a service. And throughout our journey, we have really been trying to take the friction away for practitioners who are trying to build hybrid distributed multi-cloud infrastructure. And in our own journey of digital transformation, we have been looking to leverage the latest and greatest technologies that can enable us to enjoy also a magical experience. And in that process, obviously, we looked at Zscaler. And our great CISO team over the years, we have been partnering for about 10 years now, really had this vision of evolving our infrastructure for our security and secure interconnection consumption from a box-based, point solution-based architecture to a cloud-native, software-enabled, programmable, customizable platform where our entire employee user base can actually enjoy secure any-to-any connectivity to access internet with great policy-based capabilities, as well as full end-to-end visibility onto our platform. And that has been part of a great partnership that we've been enjoying. And as part of that process, we thought there is so much more that we can do together. And we said, why don't we take this to the next level and actually apply Zscaler to some of our own solutions? Yep. For example, Network Edge, where we actually can run a number of security and networking capabilities as VMs on top of an infrastructure that we manage for our customers. So we liked Zscaler so much that we said, let's put these two things together better together, and let's see how it works. And we have actually been liking it so much that we are now partnering together to offer that to a broader customer base. All of you guys, hopefully, and our great customers can hopefully benefit from this. And a number of use cases can easily be met without much friction and with a great magical experience, whether it's regulatory or compliance-based use cases or disaster recovery, or when customers want to have their own source IP authentication and addresses. And I'm sure the range of use cases is much longer than this.
So Justin, if I could add, I meet many customers who say, I love your cloud, but I must keep control of this inspection private service edge. And my data centers are going away. But I do business with Equinix. In fact, my traffic goes through Equinix. They asked us, say, can you work with Equinix so I can host the private service edge for ZIA or ZPA to handle my requirements, which may be regulatory. Or the other use case came up is disaster recovery. In fact, I'm a big fan of disaster recovery to be done right. And those things, because of a partnership, it makes it easy for you as customers to be able to take advantage of that. So we are excited about it. In fact, as Equinix is a customer, they actually implemented this first as customer 0. So their traffic goes through it, so they're able to make sure they're comfortable before we go announce to the market.
Absolutely. We have tried this, and it works great. I'll be happy to share what we learned through this journey and how it can actually enable you to achieve what we are trying to achieve internally. And in addition to that, as I mentioned, the world is really going toward hybrid distributed multi-cloud infrastructure as the architecture of choice. We see that across our 10,000 customer base. And in that journey, as enterprises are trying to deploy and scale and manage this distributed infrastructure, we see that managing the layers of security and connectivity for hybrid multi-cloud is still not a truly magical experience. There is still a lot of friction. And again, we are partnering together to really take that friction away and make a secure cloud-to-cloud and hybrid multi-cloud interconnection an easy and enjoyable experience for our users.
That's right. If I may add something, many of the customers I talk to use Equinix to connect to multiple cloud providers. And we're sitting in the same data center.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now the next level was connectivity is there. Could Zscaler provide zero trust connectivity, essentially an overlay network running on top of Equinix underlay network? A fascinating thing, makes it easy to do. And I'll mention another thing. What Equinix has done for provisioning, literally, it's a couple of clicks, things happen. I've been fascinated by the way you have built that.
Thank you so much, Jay, and it's been a great partnership again. Together, we are trying to offer that magical software-enabled cloud-native, digital-native experience so we can enable you, customers, and community to really focus on what you do great, building great apps for the world.
Wonderful, Justin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to continuing our partnership.
Yes.
Take care.
So, the fourth area, business insights. With 300 billion transactions a day, hundreds of billions or trillions of telemetry a day, there's a lot of business insights we got, and a customer said, you need to help us give some more valuable information out of this. So business insights based on AI cloud has become our next big focus area. You'll see here a lot more about it. But let me start by inviting Sham Nair, who is our CTO who joined us recently, to join me on stage to talk about some of the AI cloud and the business insights area.
Thank you.
Sham.
Thank you.
We welcomed Sham last month. He comes from tons of experience at Salesforce, managing a number of their clouds, and Microsoft before that, with a lot of focus on resilience and whatnot. So Sham will share with you what are we doing in the AI ML area.
Thank you, Jay. These days, when I talk to CIOs or CTOs or CXOs or any practitioner, there's one thing in their mind. They want to use advanced AI capabilities. generative AI, how do I use them safely and securely? By safely and securely, it means how do I really leverage it so that none of my data is lost or data is leaked? One of the often overlooked part of generative AI as it has advanced is prompt and prompt engineering. The data you provide in prompt, the context you provide there, are often sensitive data. This is data that is going to be used for training. How do I make sure that I protect that data? I protect the data from being used, as well as its intellectual property that is not going to be used in terms of training models in public domain. This is where zero trust and the need of zero trust for AI applications comes into being. Oftentimes, I like to talk about there are two characteristics that are critical for an AI platform. Number one, users. Number two, data. More users, more data, more value, and that's a force multiplier in itself. At Zscaler, with over 300 billion transactions and data and metadata around these transactions being captured into logs, creating a data fabric, connecting both structured and unstructured data, as well as data that is, or metadata that is part of the URLs, gives us a data fabric on top of which our own custom domain models and our expertise in zero trust exchange, as well as cybersecurity, becomes a force multiplier for us to build these AI/ML applications. As many of you know, we have been leveraging AI and ML since 2018. There are a lot of innovations that is already in the market that is leveraging Zscaler's AI/ML. To call out a few, AI-driven malware and threat protection, or ISP insights in ZDX, or dynamic content classification. These are a few of the innovations that already leverage AI and ML. But with the advancements of generative AI, we have started to look at what additional capabilities can we provide in our zero trust exchange. A few examples include, today, everybody talks about copilots, assistants. So Zscaler Navigator actually enables natural language interface for our administrators. Multimodal DLP helps data leak protection in text, audio, video, and images. We are using our own trusted LLMs based on our own log data for advanced breach protection. So as we move forward, we need a zero trust partner, a zero trust platform for enabling the use of advanced AI and ML. And I look forward to be that partner for you and actually scaling this journey of AI, ML, and zero trust. Thank you, Jay.
John, wonderful.
Thank you.
Good. You will hear a next level detail of AI/ML work we're doing, especially generative AI, in one of the keynotes. The other area where we've done tons of work with AI/ML is digital experience. A number of you are using this product from day one. It is designed for that. Why is that? With 15 million users using ZDX, we got 15 million sensors. They're collecting billions and billions of telemetry about it. How do you figure out what's a baseline, how much response time has changed? The only way to do it right is leveraging some of these AI/ML technologies. You'll hear more about this later on. The new service I'm personally very excited about is Risk 360. Lots of CISOs and CIOs get tired of learning about these numbers, 40,000 phishing attacks, 20,000 botnet calls, this and that. This new service that is being launched actually gives you an overall risk score for your entire company by each of the 4 areas of potential breach areas I talked about, and tells you what's happening, what's causing it, how do you improve your risk posture. A very exciting service that you're going to hear more about it later on today. The business insights we talked about. Customers are doing some very interesting stuff, especially today. They all know that they are actually spending money on hundreds of SaaS applications. Are they being used, not being used, how much, what's going on? Since we are the switchboard, we know every connection, every application by user, by number of app, by spend. So this application will help you manage your spend on some of these applications, and it's especially useful in today's tougher economic times. The next application we built was inspiration from one of our customers, actually, Cushman and Wakefield. During COVID, they wanted to know which of their 400 offices were actually having people, not having people. Should I expand certain offices? Should I shrink certain offices? The best source of data comes from Zscaler logs. So we really built this application around location insights. You'll hear more about it. As I want to move towards the last part of my presentations, I want to give you a little bit glimpse of some of the innovative use cases and reduction of cost and complexity and time to value that people traditionally don't think about. So let's think outside the box. When I started Zscaler, I did not think of M&A would be a use case. Okay. But M&A and divestiture with Zscaler has become a very exciting use case for CIOs and CISOs because you no longer need to connect the networks and all this stuff. Every user is untrusted, every party. You simply go through our policy engine, you connect the right party to right party. If you got a project in this area, I assure you we can cut down your integration time from 10 months to probably about 10 weeks or 5 weeks. Okay. Check into it. Other exciting areas where I hear from a number of our customers, micro branches. How long does it take for you to set up a new branch office? After you get the building and all, IT itself requires a few months. I need to order the circuit. I need to order a router. I need to order a firewall, this, that, it sits there. Now customers are simply able to do this thing in a matter of days or weeks or even hours. Micro branches for banks. We got banks who are working with us. Their micro branch is becoming cashless. Essentially, a couple of laptops or tablets with Zscaler agent, with 4G SIM card in it, connects to our cloud, talks to banking applications. You can have the branch up and running in hours. Think of it. That's what makes IT progressive. That's what makes you heroes in the eyes of your management. Not trying to say, I need to keep on the same old network I've had for 30 years. Warehouses. I have seen customers, this customer in Australia set up a warehouse for IT access, literally very quickly. Again, Android-powered scanner with Zscaler agent with a 4G SIM card, connects to Zscaler Cloud ZPA, which in turn talks to SAP inventory applications. Think of how fast you can do some of these things. Retail stores are becoming essentially cashless, simply powered by Zero Trust ZPA technology. And the newest one, you're working with a few oil and gas companies. Charging stations are being set up. These guys will have thousands of charging stations. They need to be monitored. Telemetry needs to be sent back. What's the traditional way? I'm going to set up a VPN connection, so 10,000 of these stations are on my corporate network. Okay. Using Zscaler Zero Trust technologies with simple connector sitting as an SDK in your charging station can actually give you everything you need on any network, which could be 3G, 4G, broadband, or Starlink. Doesn't matter. These are the things we can help you make it happen working together. A lot of these ideas are coming from our progressive customers, and we are making sure we can help you achieve some of these new things. It is a journey. It doesn't happen. A number of you are in different stages of the journey, and we have our teams, we have our experts, our architects to help you walk through these different stages. The big question comes up these days is, how do you save money? How do you make some of these things happen? Think holistically. Many times customers think of Zscaler, oh, it's a web proxy. Oh, it's a replacement of VPN. Not quite. It replaced the entire DMZ, the cloud gateways and all. If you holistically look at what can be eliminated, you can actually simplify IT and remove a whole lot of point products, and the justification becomes much, much simpler. We all know that complexity is the enemy of security. Complexity is the enemy of resilience. So simplify the stuff. And we offer you business value assessment services. I won't go into it detail, but we have a teams who are able to work with your teams to quantify the savings from security products, networking products, operational saving, risk reduction, and the like. So the business case helps you get your project started. Okay. Last area, technology partner ecosystem. We have had a North Star, a bullseye from day one. We want to do the switchboard to connect right parties to right parties, and we do that better than anybody else out there. But some of these other areas, we have partnered with a number of our partners. You're probably familiar with us. While we are the switchboard, we work with identity providers, we work with endpoint security providers, we work with branch routers and SD-WAN providers to take traffic, and we can feed logs to solutions of your choice, SIEM solutions, or we can do ITSM integration for you. Okay. This is wonderful. Our most exciting partner in that ecosystem is Microsoft. Okay. And let me invite Puneet from our BD team and Jim from Microsoft to share with us how the partnership has been working to integrate their technologies and our technologies.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
We've been partnering with Microsoft for close to a decade, and it has been a long-standing partnership that started initially in the modern workplace in Office 365 and has then evolved into security. Jim, for the audience here today, for introduction, Jim is a chief security advisor at Microsoft, but more importantly, he's a practitioner. In his former life, he was the chief CISO at Coca-Cola and previously at Eli Lilly. You've been at Microsoft now for a bit.
Yep.
Would love to hear your perspective on the partnership and how it has evolved.
Yeah, thanks for that, Puneet. And the partnership with Zscaler has been quite amazing, and so we appreciate that and appreciate being a special partner with you. And what I thought we'd do is spend a few minutes just highlighting some of the key areas where we've had partnership and integration with Zscaler, and where that has really brought great business value to customers and great risk-reducing value to customers through the partnerships that we have had together. And so, yeah, one of them on this slide is really optimized connectivity. And I think that this is particularly important because when you think about the various organization security postures that we experience, one of the things that we've constantly had problems with is organizations who feel very passionate about the fact that I need to route through my security infrastructure, my security stack that sits in my data centers. And one of the things that Zscaler first did with Microsoft very, very successfully was allow us to go straight from the endpoint to Office 365 while crossing a complete security stack that Zscaler was offering, so that we could actually get around all of the hairpinning issues, all of the latency issues that we were experiencing in our data centers. And so that was just really a boon for everybody. It created a lot of user delight. It solved a lot of problems that we had been experiencing for quite a while. So a hugely successful partnership between the two companies. When we get into app integrations, that one gets a little bit more thorny because I think, as Jay has articulated about 23 times this morning, is the network perimeter is really not doing its job to secure the enterprise anymore. And so we've absolutely got to be thinking about zero trust. And so whether you're using Zscaler's zero trust exchange, or you're using Microsoft's zero trust architecture and platform, or whether you're using both, what we've got to start thinking about is securing the workloads and securing the resources that make up those workloads, and then further securing how you get to those workloads, perhaps by Zscaler, ZIA, ZPA, and the like. And so the way we're thinking about securing applications and how you get to those is extraordinarily important. And not only how you get to those and how those workloads are secured, but then how data is flowing into and out of those. So thinking about some of the things Jay talked about this morning is, inline DLP is certainly important. And so how we're doing those app integrations are extraordinarily important as well. And then perhaps the last thing I'll talk about is just the security integrations, which are numerous between our companies. And when I think about security integrations, I think about the plight of the security operations analyst who has got to do their job, and they're certainly trying to catch security incidents more quickly and resolve them more quickly. Jay has talked numerous times this morning about machine learning and artificial intelligence. And so suffice it to say that Microsoft already reasons over 65 trillion threat signals a day. Imagine bolstering that with 300 billion transactions that we could get from Zscaler to pull in to Sentinel. So we're adding additional network telemetry and the like, because we all know that artificial intelligence is, and machine learning is, data hungry. And so you can never feed it too much data, right? And so to the extent that we can bring all of that in, whether it's authentication data, network telemetry, and the like, that's only going to make that experience that much richer, so that we can further enable the security analysts to detect and prevent security incidents more quickly, so that we can reduce the blast radius of those things. And then when we talk about some of the integrations that Zscaler has done, certainly integrations into Microsoft Sentinel are very important. But they're also discovering other things like different zero-day types of issues that they can feed directly into Defender for endpoints, so that we can enrich signal that we've already got. And so there's a number of important integrations, even in what's going on with Azure Active Directory, that factors into how we're accessing apps as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and the partnership is just bearing great fruit.
Great, thank you, Jim. Much appreciated. And for us, while we've been partnering for as long as we have, and have well over 1,000 customers that work well together, it's just rewarding for us that, even now you come across examples. Just a few months ago, a Fortune 100 insurance company here in North America, 60,000 users, went off on their journey to modernize their infrastructure. They went through a pretty rigorous process. One of the key requirements was, getting to Office 365 as quickly as possible without that network hub and spoke architecture, getting to that front door. They deployed Zscaler with all the various security integrations that you just highlighted, and we continue to make investments to enhance those even further. They are now a big E5 shop, because in this macro environment, they want to take full advantage of the entire security stack and consume the technologies that they are purchasing. That's been the other talk that we've been hearing back from our customers. One of the other things that we are trying to do to make it easier for you to consume these technologies is now to transact on the Azure marketplace. That is, again, in this macro environment, something that is top of mind for you. So Jim, really do appreciate the partnership. Thank you again, and looking forward to additional innovations in the future.
Likewise, us as well. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Puneet. It's wonderful. All right. Delivering a mission-critical service. As I talk to more and more customers, what we deliver is mission-critical, and it's our responsibility, it's our duty and obligation to make sure we give you world-class service. In fact, I was talking to a CIO a few months ago. He said, Jay, congratulations. You have been designated, Zscaler has been designated as a mission-critical partner. It's only one of the 5 partners we have. Then he smiled. He said, I had to fight to get you in that list. And I was wondering, what is it? He said, for us to have someone as a top 5 designated partners, they must have a $50 million annual spend with the company, and we spent a lot less with you, so it was hard. Then he smiled. He said, I don't know if you feel good about it or bad about it, but the message is clear to us. Our customers expect proper capacity, availability, performance, and security of the cloud. And as the CEO, it's my #1 priority to make sure we do things that need to be done. There's a keynote that Misha will deliver about resilience and what we do, but I can assure you that we're looking at all aspects of resilience, from making sure the software development and dev testing is done right, so we don't have the issue that SolarWinds have. Make sure upgrades get done right, the monitoring and incident management gets done right. Overall, you think about the issues that you see with the cloud, they can fall in 3 buckets. There's a blackout situation when something is totally gone. It rarely happens. We had one situation once, about 8, 9 years ago, when Sandy hurricane happened in New York, and entire Manhattan was flooded. But our architecture designed such that the traffic automatically moves to the next data center, helped our customers. The brownouts could be harder, and the catastrophic is kind of DR kind of situation. We actually announced a disaster recovery service, first cloud security company, or the only cloud security company that actually has a disaster recovery service. I encourage you to take a look at it and configure it. It's already part of most of the bundles you have, and it's not hard to deploy and test. Brownout is interesting. Things are working, but they're kind of working. An interesting thing we had was in Marseille, France. 6, 7 months ago, there was vandalism of undersea cable got cut. Okay. Since we have the ability to control routes, we are actually able to route the traffic around for our customers with minimal impact. These are the kind of things you only get when you work with a vendor who is mature, who has seen the world, with 45-some million users around the globe using us. As I try to wrap up, I want to thank you, a lot of our customers. I've listed some of the largest ones, but that's not the only focus. We care for our customers. It's full obsession. It's one of our core values. I want to thank you for your business. I want to thank you for your partnership. The scale. The company's name stands for scalability, Zenith or scalability. Our focus is to enable your organization to scale. Look at the kind of traffic. Our traffic is doubling about every 18 months or so. Nobody out there has the experience to deal with that kind of traffic. Not only that, the threats, the network effect allows us to figure things out that won't be figured by other vendors. Customer support, the tickets, it remains a priority today. We are about 1.7 support tickets per billion transactions. You see the graph. The number has been coming down. Our goal is to make sure we keep on bringing it down. Okay. I'm going to skip through some of the other numbers. I'm proud of Net Promoter Score, NPS score, which is over 70, because we work with you closely. Our field teams, our sales teams, our customer success team, and our partners are all working together to make sure your service is good. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about ESG as an important area. We've taken it very seriously. And we had met some very, very good goals. To really not only achieve 100% renewable energy, we are really shooting for, in 2025, to be net zero emissions company. So proud of what we're doing. Thank you. My closing comments. We did this exercise recently. We have spent over $1.7 billion cumulatively on Zscalers for technology investments to really do what we're doing for you. And there's a 15 million plus lines of code that our engineers and developers have written to give you comprehensive, deep, and wide functionality. And our investment area falls in 3 big buckets. Cloud RaaS remains our #1 priority. Your customer experience, deployment, ongoing support is a big focus area. And comprehensive platform, expanding the platform in right areas that are synergistic is how I look at the business. And R&D philosophy, I summarize that RISE, resilience will always be #1, knowing that cloud is mission critical. Innovation, you see lots of innovations we've done. Speed, we want to keep on delivering innovations at speed. And of course, efficiency is important to be able to do more with less, to be smart about it. So we're doing all this to go back to what I said early on, to empower your business to make sure you have full security, simplicity with consolidation, standardization, automation, and productive business with great experience, agility, and even things like M&A, time to value. Okay. Coming back to the note I started on, our businesses are changing fast. IT and technologies are playing a massive role. You as leaders are playing a big role. Technology by itself does nothing without a proper mindset. So think of cultural and mindset change, and knowledge and conviction is fundamental to drive changes. Otherwise, people remain uncomfortable. This conference is about making sure you get the right knowledge, right conviction by talking to your peers and talking to Zscaler experts here. And since inertia holds us back, and change is the biggest thing that helps for the success of the business, and I'll leave with you with the thought that change seems uncomfortable. But once you know the new technology, new solutions, disruptive changes, you actually become comfortable and you start doing things, making your business productive. Bold and curious will succeed. Think about it. It's easy to sit back, but bold and taking some calculated risk is what you need. With that, I want to thank you all for being our customers and partners. I want to thank all Zscaler employees who have been working hard to make our customers happy. I want to thank all of our partners without whom we won't be able to serve you. Thank you, and see you around. Okay.